Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Nathan here from Worship Cullen in the Worship Journal Guitarist Edition. This might be a little bit longer video today. I want to get into some of the Midi controls that you can use with the Tone Master Pro, especially since with this latest firmware, we can now send and receive Midi program changes, change controls through USB. So let's jump in. Let's jump into Pro Control so we can make sure everything's ready, right? So we're going to go to Settings, going to go to I/O, go to Midi. And for this, what I want to show you today is I'm going to send the BPM, send the clock to the Tone Master Pro for a song. So if I have, timed effects, and I already have the BPM set in MobileSheets, which is what I'm using to manage all my chord charts. If I have the BPM set for the song in MobileSheets, I can send that BPM or send the clock to the Tone Master Pro so that all my timed effects, as soon as I load the preset or as soon as I load the song, will have the right time. Okay, so you'll want to make sure you're receiving clock. You're allowing the Tone Master Pro to receive clock through MIDI over USB. And then I also want to change the preset. So when I load the song, I know I want to use my acoustic gold preset for this song. I want the Tone Master Pro to automatically change that preset for me. So to do that, it requires a program change. So you want to make sure the Tone Master Pro is set to receive program changes over USB. I'm not doing anything with change controls at this point, so I don't have that one turned on. I'm not actually sending clock from the TMP, so I'm not worried about it. I am sending program changes and change controls from the Tone Master Pro to MobileSheets for my air turn. So if you're interested in that, check out my other videos. I'll show you how I ditched my air turn with the Tone Master Pro, and I have 2 foot switches dedicated for air turn. That's all you need to do in the Tone Master. Once you have that set, you're good to go. So let's go look at MobileSheets. Again, MobileSheets is, in my opinion, the best program to manage chord charts, sheet music, all that stuff. It's a great program, very, very powerful program. So what you'll want to do is go to the settings in MobileSheets. Go to MIDI settings and configure MIDI connections. Now, keep in mind, if you don't select anything for input or output, it will by default send MIDI commands automatically across any MIDI compliant device. So you can leave everything unchecked and you're fine. If you're going to have multiple devices and you need more control, as soon as you select one, it's only going to send to that device, right? Or receive from that device if you select input, right? So I'm just leaving them unchecked for now because really the only thing I'm using MIDI wise with MobileSheets right now is the Tone Master Pro, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to leave everything unchecked, but keep that in mind. And also keep in mind, in MobileSheets, the Tone Master Pro, the device shows up as MIDI function. It doesn't say Fender, it doesn't say Tone Master Pro, it just says MIDI function. So don't get confused if you think it's not seeing my Tone Master Pro. It is if it shows up as MIDI function. So I'll leave those unchecked just because I'm going to send it over everything, right? So MobileSheets is good to go. It's ready to send program changes, and away we'll go. So let's go into a song. I've got this one pretty much already set. I just don't have them set to load when the song loads. So you're going to edit the song. You're going to go to the MIDI tab, and you're going to create some MIDI commands to change your preset. So that's the first one we're going to look at. So this is the one I created. I called it Acoustic Gold. I put that as a label. You don't even have to put a label on it. Label doesn't mean anything. That's just kind of an easy way for you to know what that program change or change control is doing, right? So I just named it Acoustic Gold because that's the preset I want to load. The command type is a program change. I believe I've got my Tone Master Pro set to Omni for the MIDI, so it's listening to all channels, so channel doesn't even really matter at this point. I just selected one. I'm not doing a huge bunch of orchestration to where I need to put things on different channels and make sure nothing gets cross-contaminated, right? So I'm not going to worry about that. Input port, I'm using any. Output port, all. Now the command is the preset number that you want to change to. So what I did was in my Tone Master Pro, I took my presets and I deleted all of the default Fender presets from my presets. You're always going to have... Sorry, I forgot it was going to mute me when I switched over. You're always going to have them in that Fender tab, right? They're always going to be there. You just don't need copies of them unless you've modified them and saved it in your My Presets. And the reason I did that is I don't want my presets to go over 127 because that's the max number you can put into a command. So if you have to go to 128, like if your preset was 128, you can't do that. That's too high. You would actually have to send a command, a bank change command before you actually set the preset to get to that next level, that next layer of presets to get to. So I just thought, I'm not going to be switching between more than, maybe 8 presets, if that, 5, 6, whatever. I'm just going to delete all the Fender default presets from my presets, move all my presets to the top, right? So now all my presets are all at the top and they're all in that range. So I don't have to add any extra MIDI commands to get to the next bank, to do a bank change. So the preset I want for that song is my Acoustic Gold version 1.1. Now, keep in mind, 0, if I put in 0, it's going to be my preset 1 because 0 is actually the first value in MIDI. So it's going to be 8 is the number for that preset for Acoustic Gold version 1. So let's go back over to MobileSheets. Now, keep in mind also, you can see up here, you can see my preset above. I've got the window you can still see my Tone Master Pro. You can still see Pro Control behind MobileSheets. Right now it's on Highway 1, right? If I go in here, I can test that MIDI command, and you can see it just switched to my Acoustic Gold version 1.1. And then you can just say send this when you load the song. So that way, as soon as you load that song, it's going to send this command and change your preset. Now, this is I'd like to say this is kind of a clever way to do this. I don't know. I think it is. What I wanted to do was I wanted to send the clock to the Tone Master Pro. So as long as I have a BPM value or a tempo value on the song, I can create a MIDI command that just sends the clock. It sends the BPM, but it's in the clock, right? So it's constantly sending it. So it's sending the clock. It doesn't send a BPM value and set your value. It's sending clock. I want that, but I didn't want that because my fear is that we always, what if we, drift or start to slow down or speed up and my clock is still setting there at, say 67 BPM and we start slowing down, I want to be able to still tap my BPM if I need to. So the way I'm getting around that is what I'm doing is I'm sending the clock to the Tone Master Pro, which unfortunately you can't see because I don't think it actually shows a BPM value in. Oh yeah, it does. Let me move this screen this way. You can see the BPM value there. Let's move this one down. Okay, so you can see the BPM there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sending the BPM. And I'm sorry, you can't test this one. You actually just have to load it. So I'm going to load it. And so it's going to start sending the clock, but that clock's repeating, right? It's keeping that time, that same value the whole time. So what I did is I'm sending clock, and then there's actually a command that you can do that's just a pause. It's just a delay, right? I'm just going to pause the sends. And that's actually how you oftentimes have to add a pause when you're changing banks, because you have to send the bank change, pause to let it actually change the bank, then change the program. So I added a 5-second pause. So what I'm doing is I'm actually sending clock for 5 seconds, and then I'm following that up with a stop clock. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm syncing the clock for 5 seconds. That lets the value get set on the Tone Master Pro, and then it stops sending clock after that. Sends it for 5 seconds, and then it stops sending clock. So that way, if something crazy were to happen, I can tap the BPM on my Tone Master Pro to whatever I need, because it's not being overwritten by the clock that MobileSheets is sending. I hope that makes sense. So let me load all of these on song load. And you're going to see when I load the song, you're going to see my BPM there on the Tone Master Pro. Right now it's at 101. It's going to drop down to the BPM of the song, which is 67. And you can see it set the clock to 67. Now, after 5 seconds, I can start changing that BPM if I need to, so I don't have to worry about the clock overriding what I'm trying to set it to. So that's what I'm doing. I hope that made sense, because that seems like a lot of words, but hopefully that gets you thinking about some different ways that you can use program changes, send a MIDI over that USB to kind of help orchestrate whatever you're trying to do. There's so many things we can do through MIDI. I'm just scratching the surface. I'm not even deep diving into anything. So hopefully you like it. Let me know what you think. Also, subscribe to the channel if you find any of this content helpful. It helps me out. Subscribe to the channel. As always, make every strum count. I'll see you guys next time.